All right, we'll call the North Beach Council meeting for the evening of April 13th, 2017 to order. And to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance will be Dick Myers, who you see so seldom. Dick, please salute the flag. Will you just lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stacy is not with us, so he's going to call the roll. Okay, Dawn.
Mayor Fraser,
Here.
Mr. Benton,
Here.
Ms. Hagan, here. Mr. Himmel,
Here.
Mr. Randy Himmel,
Here.
Ms. Diana.
Should be here shortly.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve our agenda for this evening?
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. I have approval of the minutes from our council meeting last month. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Need a motion to approve the minutes from last week's work session. So moved. Any discussion?
One minor comment on that. For the student offset, there was a total of 30 votes, but that's a total of 28.
Yeah, 28 or 29,
28, yeah, so minor.
Oh, we can make note of that. Okay, so with that amendment to the minutes from the work session, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, is Anthony here? Maybe he'll come in later. He was going to give us some clips, right, from some of the films that we're going to be showing at our North Beach Film Festival the last month of June. So when he comes in, we'll, wherever we are, we'll give him an opportunity to do that. All right, we have an appointment also with Deborah Noyes is here and Norma Jean, okay? Front and center, ladies. From the North Beach House and Garden Club.
I just want to give you an update about the project that we brought up a couple months ago that we're working on donating signage for the Sunrise Garden to identify, selected trees, shrubbery, plants. And so just so you see where we are at this point, we're using TNT. And this is an example of the plaque, what it will look like. Identifying the plant. I think we're going to do about 20. Our club approved our spending $500 to $600, $20 to $25 a pocket for it'll cost us, including the lumber and make it. So the height of it will match the art that's identified in the garden already, and the lumber that's mounted on. Because if that's what you want to do, that way it would match. Yeah. And then the signage. The one thing that will be different is they're actually going to mix us paint to match the background colors, so the screws will be protected and not rust and also match it. But this is an example of what it'll be like. So they're 9 by 5.5, so 9 inches long or wide, however you think it, and 5.5 inches high. And it's made of a plastic core covered with a thin aluminum sheet material. Pretty durable, and then the digital image, which is what our next step will be, because we're waiting until it leaked out, and I'm actually meeting with 2 or 3 of the master gardeners that, Laurel and a couple others that we helped with the selection of plants in the garden. So we're going to meet this weekend sometime to identify what we're going to start with market. So, excuse me, knowing about the American Bloom and the date for that, I would say that's probably our goal to get done, if you would like that. Yeah, because it would be another, showing how we educate our public in our.
Sure. So what date would that be?
I think that's July 1st, isn't it? Somebody told me that.
The competition.
Judging, I think it's the 24.
Oh, 24, okay.
July.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so in July. But, and that was our goal, thinking it would probably be sometime, early midsummer, just when the plants are in full foliage and also. So that's our update, we're working on it.
What are you gonna have on the right hand? So each one will have a picture of it?
It'll have
and
a
just
picture
little
of it,
description?
it'll have the common name, the scientific name, and then just some facts. You know, each one might be a little different.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, this is an example where they say that
Yeah, but
that
it
was
says
fruit,
in the-
right, right. Just, maybe 3 or 4 bullets of factoid on that plant.
I think that will be very well received.
I think it will come. And I guess, just so you'll know, to expect it, one thing they are going to also add in very fine print on the lower left-hand corner of the signage will be like our logo. I think they're donating.
Sign provided by anyone.
Yes, they're donating.
Well, you're paying for it, so you should. No problem here.
I got that inspiration when I was in Vermont last summer, walking through the town of Woodstock. I don't know if you've ever been there, in Vermont, not New York. And really cute town, and walking over the bridge, and really pretty flower boxes. And I looked, and there was a plaque on it, donated by the Garden Club, Woodstock Garden Club. I thought, okay, we're gonna. So,
Yeah, sounds good.
good.
Anybody have any questions of Deborah? Thank you and the Garden Club for not only supporting the financially, but for going to the effort that it's going to take. You say
Sure.
maybe 20 or so?
Really nice.
Yes, it would be a great addition. Thank you so much.
Very welcome.
All right, Detective Kress is with us this evening to give the public safety report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
March of 2017, the Sheriff's Office handled 166 calls for service in the town of North Beach. That is up 134 calls from February of 2017. In March of 2016, the Sheriff's Office handled 193 calls for service in the town of North Beach. To break down the calls for service for March of 2017, there was 98 calls which were self-initiated patrol checks, follow-ups, and investigations. 68 calls were received by other means, citizen calls, alarms, etc. Of the 166 calls for service we handled, 2 were narcotic arrests, those both were cocaine related. 5 theft calls, which one was a handgun, stolen handgun out of an unlocked vehicle on 5th Street. That actually was closed. That wasn't a stolen handgun. It was left on the top of the car and lost in transit from one place to here. Stolen tricycle from Chesapeake Avenue. It's still under investigation. Stolen vehicle from Burnos, which was recovered in South Carolina and was closed by an arrest there. The burglary on Erie Avenue where medication and cash were stolen. That was closed by an arrest. And cash from the North Beach Senior Center, which was closed by an arrest. Had 1 trespassing arrest, 1 heroin overdose, and 3 DWI arrests. That's for March.
Well, Detective, good work on the thefts.
Thank you.
Very good work.
I think just get one quick question on that burglary with the cash going into somebody's house. Was that somebody they knew, do you know, or was it, okay, it wasn't just random?
It was individuals that knew each other.
Okay. I think it's important to know.
Yeah, we don't have random burglaries.
Not in North Beach.
Right.
But you do have tobacco violations, I noticed.
Yes. Trespassing violations.
All right, the council have any questions of the detective? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Joe, you have your report, please?
Yes, the treasurer's report for February 1st through the 28th. The beginning balance in the general fund was $545,000. Total debits was $252,000, and total credits was $126,000. Ending balance was $671,000. MLGIP investments, general fund was $3,197,000. MLGIP sewer capital was $34,000, and MLGIP water capital was $7,000. Total cash was $3,910,000. For the same period last year, it was $3,031,000. Hotel tax collected this month, or for the month of February, was $898.52. For last year, it was zero. State business license was zero for this month and for last year.
All right, council, you see the receipts and disbursements for 7,500. Do you have any questions, Joanne? All right, do I have a motion to accept her report this evening?
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Good evening, everybody. All in here is a list of items Public Works has been working on in addition to routine tasks. First one on the list, I'm sure everybody saw, but Chesapeake Avenue Road Raising Project, curb and sidewalk work is about 90, after today it's probably 95%. And expects to finish the project by Friday, or Saturday, I'm sorry. Contractor's milling the remaining asphalt today, and we just wondering if they got all the asphalt in between, so we don't get water traffic freeze and have a problem later on.
So all the asphalt has been removed, and it's going to be overlaid.
Right. That's correct. Yeah, he can do that today. Tomorrow they're coming in, they're gonna bring in this RC6 base gravel, and we're gonna bring that up to 5 inches, to subgrade, and then hopefully Saturday, if he can include together, he's talking about maybe putting base grade asphalt.
Can you give the council an idea when they might start work on the islands?
Yeah, and number 2 there, streetscape project, what they're gonna do, the same contract, the same, concrete crew that's on the sidewalks. Now, after they're finished, they're gonna jump and settle on the streetlights next week. So that's why the number 2, streetscape has all that information, but the same guys, like I said, they'll jump up and they'll start. It's 14 islands throughout, Chesapeake Avenue, and, it'll probably be maybe a week, probably complete next week. And then, we're going to be paid the whole thing.
You're happy with the progress on the
Real happy. First, we had a little talk with the contractor that came in. I started off a little bit slow, but we had kind of a little conversation here, and then since we picked it up, he worked last Saturday and Sunday. Made pretty good progress. He brought another couple guys and it was through, and kind of picked it up. He's going to plan on working this Saturday, this Sunday, this Sunday. Yeah, he wants to get done, get out of here. He realized the former market's coming to get over there, so he's trying to get out by next week. May 5th.
Yeah.
We got a little while to plan, plus the lights for,
Yeah, the blessing of the lights.
we're trying to get ready, that was kind of exciting. Foreman wanted to, he knows, he saw, the other day, this was warm, with the kids out of school, when he comes down, so, and it was one between, October and Wednesday.
So the paving might be done this weekend and then the.
Just the base coat.
The basic.
Yeah, from 3rd to 5th. And that's what we're going to road back up, traffic and there first. Because right now we have closed down because you can't drive, because we milled out about 6 inches of paving today. So you know, paving is still good. But tomorrow they're coming in to put the base gravel through, and then Saturday, hopefully, they'll put the base coat, and we'll go open the road back up. Have the traffic and flow through that way. From 3rd to 5th.
Right.
Then they're going to jump on the tree wells, start that section, and once we get the tree wells done, then go ahead and pay for the tire all one time.
Okay, that you got.
He wants to do top day all one time, just so we
Yeah,
can.
it looks better.
Yeah, look better, yeah, so that like breaks and seams, or whatever.
I thought they might do that first.
Do it first.
I mean, before
That's,
that.
that's the last thing.
I guess so, yeah, it just seems like it would be more challenging with the bump outs, but yeah, that's fine.
Well, he actually, that's why I milled it, you know, we
Yeah.
had a little bit of complaints, but it works as a speed control. But
That's
it's-
right.
It works
Yeah.
good for traffic and all that.
And we should know we're going to get complaints.
Right.
When we put the island, there's going to be complaints.
But he milled that to get, ready for the season from the mill, put gallons instead of come back up and do that all the time. You know, come through and do the whole thing. And, Public Works, we went back and then we, had, stabilized seed straw up against the new sidewalk, you know, on side on the east side and on the west side, front of the park, which we got that all straw. And we kind of graded as much as we could and, get right out of the way. Number 2 there, like I said, we just talked about the, we ordered the light poles and the bases already for the, for the streetscape project. We had a, talk about that in the work session of the fixtures. We have an RFP ready to go out. Stacy has that in hand, I think she's ready to put that on it. We found 3 different vendors to carry, or the rest of that product in the area, so we can send that out, we can advertise it through our website.
Yeah, when Mike, you know, there was some discussion
Right.
last week about the light, the downlight, California style. It happens that there are at least 3 distributors in the area. They will not sell directly to the municipality, so we don't have to like.
Yeah, we made a call right to the manufacturer by the buy direct, that they have that distributors. But we did, like I said, we did find 3 of them, and so we can send it out, and then anybody voting there wants to put out, but we do have 3 votes, so. And we did pick California, you know, and everything's talking about. We have also, the work landscape, is out to bid for tree islands, and bids are due back April 20th. That includes tree islands all along Chester County, plus it includes all the plants and trees in front of Cal's Park. So that should be April 20th.
So the bids will be back, and then we expect them to get started like ASAP. So
They'll be back, and we're pretty sure I'll make decisions.
Yeah, we'll have to make an award.
Yeah, we'll have to make an award for the landscape.
May, so yeah. And
Maybe.
then we talked about being done by,
Well-
Memorial Day, but probably not.
I don't think about Memorial Day, but I think people can travel on the road
Yeah.
sooner than that.
Oh, yeah.
Planet is the best.
I'm going to do travel and normal traffic, back to work on May 1st. The plannings and, you know, obviously that takes an approval days. And I'll be out, you know, you can do that without stopping traffic. So I think it's good. The lights are on, lead time on the lights, that's the wrong side. That crosswalk is but it'll be back to normal flow cars and if all the traffic with each year. Then that person pretty. We had a real good presentation, I thought, last at the work session about the one type of crosswalk product that's out there. Someone came in to improve the talk, I thought, and I guess now we have to make a decision, or at least see if we want to put that out. We do have all the specs, all the information. Myself and Mr. Chase talked to Laurel about it, it's all good. The Brett actually gave me some addresses so I could check and look at it. Some products been down about 6 years, like it, so they arrive, gave me the intersections afterwards. So next week we'll try to figure it out. You know, see what it looks like after it's not. But we would have to probably make a decision on whether we want to put out the RFP for that product.
Well, you have to be certified to do it, right?
Right, you have to be a certified applicator. It is other applicators within, I said Delaware, it's a private, North Carolina. The rep that came in the other night was the closest rep to that. So he said the concept, they work together, they don't run up and down, because the rep, you know, we don't get Pennsylvania. Anybody could bid on it, that's a certified rep. But, you know, so they kind of got time working thing there.
Okay, do we have enough in the way of specs to do that?
We do have nothing more respect, yeah.
We'll give those to Stacy and we'll get that working.
And that's a pretty quick turnaround thing, you know, we get it out, take that for out the bid, we can bring it down.
You just said we shall.
Not a sole source. Yeah, and, but that's the thing, like in 2 weeks we got the bid, we get the prices back, we can make a decision, we can probably install it in a couple of weeks. And it's not like a long lead time long.
So that's the last thing we'll do. Okay.
That's one of the last things.
Yeah.
Right, one of the last things anyway, so we got time.
I want to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, we got time, we're getting started, getting the RFP out.
And that includes the strips.
We did have another type, you were gonna put that in the bid also. We did have another type, Jack called me in today, actually, I thought I made a council meeting tonight, we pretty much made up our mind, because the other product, the closest, place I can go look at it is in, New Jersey. We didn't have anything but, I mean, the rest is in California. We sent a lot of pictures, a lot of stuff, it is like a 3-day process, just the other rep, you know, other materials, a 2-hour process, so that right there. And, you know, prices are comparable, I don't see any advantage to the thing that,
When like, you know, the heat food was worth at night.
that's
Not
one,
have to close it, it's during the day to do it.
That'd be great.
and that's what we probably want to do, that's what increase the amount of traffic, pick it up. We do it during the day,
y'all please give the text to Stacy.
And actually, if you guys remember, about when you were here, that's when you said, yeah, but actually, last week, that's when you said that they would do a geotech. Right. And where I'm getting, I've seen it being done, that's when it's done.
But it's easy for them to purchase, so they make
Yeah.
more time, since, cost factor, they actually save money by doing it, you might have to pay the guys a little money, but they get more done, so it's easy for them to do it, they get more accomplished, so. And even that, we did have the fence contractor, we touched base with him, probably 2 weeks of material in, he'll be down installing fencing on the pump station and also on the senior center parking lot and the top lot. I made contact today with a vendor who can do a real nice gate for us, the entrance for Callis Park. And I'll be bringing you a sample of a price, probably next week for that. Public Works has did a lot of grading in that area, and we're ready next week to start on the retaining seating wall when we run out of columns. We took down the big fence, I think cleaned up, looks better on there than that. But the seating, we have all the material on site for the seating wall except for columns. As soon as we get columns in, we can start working on that. We got the contractor, concrete down, we got the way this week and too, so we can start with that, and we're really good. I think that covers next week. Environmental concerns is back on site, and they made really good progress. I went over every day today, and it was impressive because the work they did earlier, putting the sand and putting all this stuff in the set for a while, but they were actually backing dump trucks out, where we couldn't even hardly walk out. We were trying to do the flight lights and stuff, we were singing the boots on. What they're saying, and that gelling together, and I don't know if it's sit there with time, hopefully not, go back and dump trucks right out in the same area.
It's out there a pretty long time.
Yeah, it's sat there a long time, so it should set up like concrete, they had plenty of time to set it up.
It's like cement.
Yeah, but they get it back 4-8 wheelers.
Really?
Yeah, right out on, they didn't send through the Nancy side. And they're from the northwest corner all the way around to the Butler and house.
Yeah,
A couple of days.
they've made a lot of progress in the last 2 days.
So they shaped the berm between my rods, I think, look, that's pretty much the shape that's gonna be coming down forward. Now they're gonna leave a break, so water, if we do have rain or something, storm happen between now and when they finish berm, water can get out between the house there and that property. They're gonna start, now they're gonna go around and start putting the rock on the east side. Yeah, so the northeast one will work back, leave a gap in the middle and do that gap last. Now that way, the trucks will be through it, it out, going backwards and going back, going through it.
What do you say is the estimated timeline? I know it depends on weather,
The way
obviously.
they moved today,
And how far, yeah, I'm just
they,
curious.
the way they moved today, the tide stayed on, it's like, I have to see them finishing within a couple of weeks, so. Not plannings and everything, but the berm, the shape, getting it and getting compacted within 3 weeks, I think.
And then they're gonna plant.
Yeah, and all that
Immediately
gets
after.
planned, yeah,
Yeah, so it holds it in place, so it
yeah.
doesn't get washed away.
Right. That's all part of the contract, we're planning for it, and more out there, have everything covered on the pond side, plus the back side.
Right.
I mean, that part won't happen, and depending on the weather, if it's too hot, they might not. I don't know about washing away, that's what's factory plate, but I'll have to talk to you about, if it gets like July, the temperature's hot, I don't think it's a plant, so that might happen in the fall. But depending on, maybe more infrastructure, so. They're not gonna grow anyway, so I don't know if it's waste of putting all those plants back where it's heat, 90 degrees and not lit, so they're gonna hold up like a fall.
We'll cross that bridge.
Yeah, at least we got them there working, and everybody should be good. We did, to go along with that, actually, we had 2 cases where tides came up high enough last week to do some flooding while it rained. So twice, Lansing got that water last week already, this year. That's probably the earliest I've ever seen it. But when they had all the storms, tornadoes, and everything down south, both of those things you got to train about. But also, we got a water tower contract release coming in town Monday to start paying. We have a maintenance contract every 5 years. Our contract also the tower is painted or, look at, touched up, whatever we've done. And it did need a paint job, so they're coming in Monday. We're working with another contractor today to set up, we got temporary tanks up there at Greenwood Avenue, and we're setting up the controls so the system will run hopefully without any hiccups while they're taking down that paint. Probably about 3 weeks until
Because they paint the inside.
outside. Inside was done a couple of years ago, that's all been done, but they inspect it every other year. The inside, we had a total inside painting done. And what we do, we pay a yearly fee, contract, it works out pretty good. We did this one over the county. So you don't have to come up with a lump sum of $100,000 for all one-time paint. But in that part of the contract, it covers inspections every year, putting up and touching up whatever we've done. And then every 5 years, like I say, it's extra. And probably like 10 in yes. We replaced the seawall barriers down along Atlantic Avenue, and we did paint them with the existing color to match existing barriers. We had a resident put some samples, Doug Bradshaw put some samples out there, and I think she's doing a survey and trying to come up with, maybe different color or whatever, it's not affecting. So I haven't heard anything back from her yet.
I haven't. But we'll contact her before we do anything else.
Yeah, we painted them matching next to the paint like those, this one is on existing color. One of us like Dawn with this one, we're working on the website, we've been working on stop signs for. Thank God, that's probably
It's a
good.
job that never,
Yeah,
it's never over.
thank you, Scott, but I think they do it all better, better. We had like maybe 5 or so that are still in the concrete islands, that we replaced with, most of them have been replaced. And now we're going back to painting the stop all the state. So that hopefully help people notice, show them, keep on stop signs. And that's, and that one, we just, turn on all the irrigation systems, the plant town nature, they work this week, and then the Road Park and some of those, all that, all irrigation systems got them working. Let them go around. Usually about spring trimming, clean up trees, so.
When do y'all, I know over time you guys address alleyways and all that, I know you have a lot of different projects going on. Have y'all started to address those with other?
Not because, just because maybe there's projects, and everybody, maybe no stop signs and other stuff, so probably like, I'd say June, we'll probably go in and we cut the grass in once, or everybody, we have anything other than just mowing, time.
And then last thing, can you put on your one-day list? I know you guys are busy, but there was some graffiti along, I don't know, a couple months ago on the corners, Frederick and Third and Erie.
Okay.
It's been there for a while, but it's on the ground, so I mean, maybe just one day you can black it out, that'd be great.
Yeah, this is it, so.
Any other questions? Thank you, Ron. John?
Thank you. I have a written report before you, and I'll summarize. Brian covered the flood dyke project and the Living Shoreline project. And before Mr. Lovelace asked, I'll tell him what I told him today, and that is, as the flood dyke comes together, Don and I are going to be evaluating the drainage behind the dike for some pipe and grading work so we're not trapping puddles behind the dike.
So we're not trapping water outside of the front?
Outside the berm, yeah. We're still moving forward with the permit process on the Beach Dredge project. Trying to get that wrapped up in the next 45 days. The Pier Pavilion project, that's related to the critical area item I have in my report. So then we want to just go to the critical area item. I'm first, and that is, I did meet with the critical area staff on April the 6th, and they have identified jointly with me 4 items that need to be addressed in our critical area program. The first item is a housekeeping item, and that is for the Burn Oaks project. When it was developed in the late 80s and early 90s, the critical areas maps showed that area as what they call limit development. all the areas of the town in the original critical area program were one of three categories. RCA, which is resource conservation, which really is your wetlands and your open space areas. Limited development, which were supposed to be only marginally developed to maybe less than 5 units per acre, and intensely developed, which is what most of the town is, intensely developed. And actually, everybody was aware that Burn Oaks adjusted or developed as an intensely developed area, which is perfectly legitimate in critical areas. They knew about it, but they never recognized it on their books. And when they did the remapping, which we've been talking about, they noticed that that area needs to have some local legislation that recognizes that Burn Oaks was developed at IDA. It doesn't affect, and it doesn't require any retroactive work. It's a bookkeeping procedure to identify how the area actually developed and that the maps are correct. So we're going to do a remapping ordinance, which is one of the items, because in 2014, the state through DNR surveyed all the tidal wetlands and through the whole state and established a new critical area line. The critical area line is 1,000 feet from tidal waters. And tidal waters has changed from where it was in the 1980s when the original critical area maps were made. We talked last month, there's some areas where the tidal waters are closer, farther upland, and there are some areas that when we do the remapping that are going to go from outside the critical area to inside the critical area. Again, most of these areas are already developed, and won't require any retroactive work by anybody, any landowners in the area. It means if anybody builds anything in the area, they'll have to follow some critical area rules on stormwater management and landscaping. That's one of the items that we're going to do. I'm working with critical areas. We think that we're going to have legislation ready to introduce in your May meeting to get the housekeeping items on the critical area program up to current requirements. And one of the most important requirements is the way our critical area ordinance is written now. We cannot apply for an MDE permit for the pavilion on a pier. That language needs to be adopted into our critical area ordinance. Critical area, I talked to the staff person today. She has a copy of our Word document, our critical area ordinance, and she's supposed to supply us this month the change to the language in our present critical area zoning ordinance to bring into play that we can put enclosed structures on the pier, and that at the point that is done, the town then can apply for permits. We could actually maybe apply for the MDE permit for the pavilion for that on the proviso that the permit not be issued until the critical area ordinance is adjusted to allow the 1,000 square foot pavilion, which is it's kind of strange because DNR and MDE allow 1,000 square foot, but they won't process it unless there's specific language in our critical area ordinance that recognizes that these kind of structures can go on existing piers. So,
Yeah, we don't have a choice in that.
no. And also, the other item we're going to do, in 2016, when we adopted the new zoning ordinance, we adopted a section on critical areas that was based upon a model that critical areas had provided us. And we used their model to generate the language for what's in the code. They now tell us that they're changing the model, and they're gonna require us to change what we have in our code to meet the new model. And they're in the process of giving us those changes, so when we introduce legislation in your May meeting, we'll have the benefit of what some of those changes are, and I'll surely review them with you, John, so that we can, I worked with Kelly today on one of those code items, and we have a draft based on some information I received from Grove area. So we'll go ahead and move the critical areas items along. I should mention that I am working with Joanne and Veronica on the elevated walkway project on the west side of 261 Bay Avenue, from about where the town pump station is to the Anne Arundel County line. We have prepared some concept drawings, we're getting estimates of the cost, and we're outlining the permitting process and the construction process for that. And we're due to, when do you think the application will go to for the TAP grant?
I think it's May.
Yeah, the TAP grant for that project will be in May, and I'm providing the engineering input for that project. I have an announcement to make. I've given the mayor a letter this past week. My personal life and my business life have reached the point where I don't have the time to continue to spend as being your town engineer and zoning administrator. I propose that we stay here until the end of June and assist with any transition. We've already started transitioning zoning administrator's duties to Rick Crump. I think he's actually a candidate. Rick is working on all the permits and this week's planning commission meeting, and I think all the confidence in the world that Rick will be able to pull the reins on the zoning administrator position. And I'm not going to fade away. I'll be here to the end of June, and I'll always be available like I've always been. Phone call away, I live in town. You'll see me, maybe see me riding my bike through town. I might stop in town hall. And, I will say, you know, I've been here since the fall of 1999, 16 plus years. It's been thoroughly enjoyable working with town. We've done a lot of projects together. It's been great working with town staff and you folks and previous council members. I've really enjoyed working in the small town atmosphere where you get to know everybody, and it's been great, and the town's dynamic, and I know that you'll continue to move forward with great things, and I'll be cheering you on.
John, we're sorry to hear that, but I for one understand because we're about the same age. I've got council members that are even older than I am. You asked for it. But if I can, of course, the council can add whatever they wish. I want to thank you personally, because we have worked together for all but 4 of those years. And I knew you even before then, you and Pat. The friendships don't go away. Your service officially to the town will come to an end, as mine will one day too. And I want to thank you for the excellent job that you have done. I mean, one of the reasons North Beach has come as far as it has is because of the infrastructure and capital improvements that we've been able to make over almost 2 decades. And you've been instrumental in all of those. I think everybody up here knows how, from your reports, how involved and instrumental you are in just about everything we do.
Yeah, I started in 1990 when I worked for a consulting firm. I designed the water system. That was my first assignment.
It was earlier than that, Joe.
Huh?
It was earlier than that.
No, the water system was built we
Yeah.
did a lot of work. We did a lot of work in the late 80s. The biggest challenge with the water system was getting the Federal Farmers Home Administration to get their act together to loan us the funds. I believe there was more work doing that than the actual engineering design, the design.
So, yeah, back to the future.
Sounds like a
John, thank you personally so much for all that you've done.
You're welcome, it's my pleasure.
And we wish you well and Godspeed after June 3rd and whatever endeavors you undertake.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Rick?
You see, got a lot of red this time. We got quite a bit of things accomplished. The things at the top you see, those documents have gone to the FJ on the abandoned property that we've been working on. So they're now at the attorney's office. Most of what we had over the last 2 months, people have either complied or we had abated. We had a big property on 6th Street that the bank and the real estate company finally agreed to just have us abate because they are still stuck in their eviction process, and their attorneys told them to not go on the property. So it appears the house has been vacated, but they didn't want to do it, so we abated the property. Well, you should see there's a little bit of cleanup on
9th Street?
on 9th Street that you've been asking about. Several vehicles are gone, and they've taken 2 dumpsters full of whatever out of the yard area. Yeah.
It was very, very obvious. I was gone for a few days out of town and drove by today and did a double take. Thank you
Over
so
the next
much.
6 weeks, that house should have the fence repaired, and the holes where the garage doors are supposed to be are either going to be filled in and re-sided, or garage doors put back on them. So hopefully that area should be done for now.
Thank you so much, Rick.
Did a few more rental inspections this month, and then most of what we had this month were vehicles. There's lots and lots of vehicles with no tags. I don't know if it's the weather warming up, people are buying stuff or moving stuff out of garages, but that was most of what we had. Obviously, last week when we had a fire, I spent 14 or 15 hours of my weekend dealing with it. That's all Mr. Bevan there.
You check those tags on Lane Street?
That car's been moved, was moved out, and had the sheriff go by and then moved it, put it in the garage. It's off the street.
The vehicle at 39226 is mine. That's something that moved. I plan, it's my vehicle. I plan to have that gone by.
Is that on here?
Oh, you just,
Oh, it's on there.
yeah, first page, very bottom.
Wow.
Very
Red
bottom
car's
one.
mine.
I plan to have that gone by Memorial Day.
Probably Donnie.
But that's good.
Probably Donnie. Because we had talked about it, because you said you had a date where you picked
But
up.
yeah, and that's, I just plan to have it gone by Memorial Day. So right now I'm busy at work, can't focus on doing that until after April 30th.
Council have any other questions of Rick?
I have one quick one. Rick, I have the pleasure every day going around looking at houses and showing houses, selling houses and all that good stuff. And over the last couple of weeks, it seems like we've been showing more on the other side of Greenwood, leaving town of North Beach proper. And I can tell you over and over, the individual I'm showing houses to will say, why is there such a difference between the two sides? And it's not, I'm not putting down anybody or anything like that, but I said, well, we do have a code enforcement, and we really take a lot of pride in our town. The residents do, the elected officials really work hard. But there is a big difference. I showed a house right before I drove here tonight, and you're doing an amazing job. Keep up the good work, and it sounds like you have more on your plate now. So I just want to say thank you so much, because it's helping all of us, and it's giving us a great place to live. So
This weekend was a busy one, but I like it. I live in town as well, so.
keep it going. Thank you.
One,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
The one that was in motion, was that a business or was that a rental?
It's a rental property, it showed a rental inspection.
I am curious, on Ninth Street, there's a house that's partially under construction, you know, the one between, on Ninth, closer to Atlantic. The foundation is done.
Yeah, they haven't sold it.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it's just stagnant. I was just curious.
Yeah, the house is, the lot's for sale. The foundation that's there is the only thing that could go there. So the house has been started, but the property's just still for sale
That's,
So they're waiting until it's sold.
Yes.
to finish the house.
I saw an ad for that here a month or two ago, and basically that is a for sale will build to suit.
Yeah, I actually forced them to pour the concrete, because prior to that, there was like just 300 pieces of rebar sticking up.
Right.
So we thought it was a hazard, so they poured the foundation, but they have not sold the property.
And I guess it can kind of be like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Unlimited.
there's no trash or anything there, they keep it clean,
Yeah.
but,
No, I mean,
Building permit run out. I mean,
but yeah, we had them pour the concrete just so that it wasn't just open rebar sticking out of the ground.
Right, okay.
Do some work like within a year, once you pull it.
Yeah, is there a time?
Once the permit dies, I'll have to reapply.
Something, or reapply.
How long is the permit?
Is it a year?
good for?
Uh,
12 months?
No, they have to show continued progress, I think, every 12 months or so.
Yeah,
Or the county will close the permit.
and I'll have to reapply.
But they have, it's a difficult situation, because they'll do some work and call for an inspection on this, and contractors have a way to bump along
Just bump the timeline.
bump the timeline. It's, partially built houses are, we don't have a lot of tools to get them completed.
I was gonna say, there's that one up near me that's been under construction for 10 or 12 years anyway.
Is that your house?
That's,
Yeah, that's just,
that's part of, what Mr. Shea has now that we've been pressing around. Well, the other house he owns next to it, since they got the letter, they've been continually working on the inside now. They're probably 2 months away from being finished.
that set there for years, just foundation. I mean, literally 10 years of this foundation before they did anything.
Rick, I think the thoroughness with which you've managed the code enforcement, I think prepares you and qualifies you well to take on these duties as zoning administrator. And
I told John, and yes, I had the zoning book at home yesterday, he asked what I was doing, so I was just reading it.
so we look forward to working with you in that capacity.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Rich.
Okay, we're going to finish these reports, and then we'll be ready for Mr. Green. Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So, website's done, we're live.
Looks good too.
I'm pretty pleased with it. There's still some work done, going on behind the scenes, as there always will be, for updates and maintenance and stuff. But it was really a joint effort between, myself and everyone on the staff has helped me along the way with different things and, having them help me review things or updates and forms and things. So everyone has really helped along the way. said we're picking on Mickey tonight about his car, I'm gonna say that the website's complete except for his bio. So we have
And I hate writing about myself.
since
That's the whole
2014,
thing.
even the new guy that left you.
It was actually the car.
Okay, anyway,
I hate writing in general.
sorry, Mickey. You have a lot to write about though, you've got some good experience and stuff. Anyway, so we're still moving along with the website. There are still some things to be added and maintenance stuff, which there always will be. Starting now, this is the time of year that we promote, all of our events and goodies and the venues for weddings and other functions and stuff. So I'll be pushing on that really hard here. I completed one of the town brochures, which is the one that Richard hands out with all the beach fees and the rules. That's at the printer now. I'm working on the other town brochure that goes out to all of the visitor centers in the county and the state right now. So hopefully that will be sent to the printer within a week. Let's see, created and distributed flyers for the spring community cleanup that we had with the dumpsters down at the waterfront, and also to promote the Plant the Town event. Designed the Green Team logo and created that online survey that we were pushing as part of the Sustainable Maryland certification. Updated and printed all of the 2017 posters for the Welcome Center. We add all of our town events to some county and state online event sites, so that was done. Then just the daily tasks that I normally do with website and social media. Our Comcast commercial that we ran last year for our season, I think it was April through September, that will start in a few weeks. That'll start back up. So you might see that on TV. I did start the newsletter, and hopefully by the end of next week, you guys will see that in your mailbox. And then I don't have a website stats for this past month because of all the switchover and all. Hopefully that'll all be looked at for next month. But the Facebook likes, they increased by 15 for a total of 7,986. So we're almost at 8,000. And then upcoming events. On April 22nd, we have the Welcome Center dedication, and then the remembrance of Louis Claggett at Sunrise Garden. The Welcome Center for Sally Donaldson, that's 11:30, and then 12:30 is at Sunrise Garden. The Welcome Center on the beach open for the season on April 23rd, which means we'll have our town attendants there and start charging for the beach and rentals and anything with our season underway. April 29th is the new day for Comcast Cares Day, thank the town. Farmers Market starts May 5th, every Friday from 6 to 9. We have the North Beach Fire Department Carnival is May 9th through 14th. And our first movie on the beach is May 20th, Star Trek Beyond. The Winstons, we're having them back May 26th for a concert. And then we can for all of the start our season.
Thank you so much, Dawn.
You're welcome.
Council, anything you want to ask Dawn?
Keep up the great work. Nice to see it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Don.
Great job, really great job. Okay, Veronica?
Mayor, Council, couple highlights for you on continuing to find resources for our toolbox for the town of North Beach. One, we applied for 2 battery-operated vehicles. Actually, one would be battery-operated for the Welcome Center. The other would be an electric vehicle for code enforcement. And then we also, with that whole proposal, applied for a dual electric charging station that the whole public can use. And it'll put us on the grid of all the electric charging stations throughout the United States. So crossing our fingers and our toes on that one.
When do you think we'll hear those awards will be made?
This one, probably the next 30 days, we should know about the electric vehicles and the charging station.
Where's the funding come from for that? I was curious.
This one was Smart Energy Communities. which is under Maryland Energy Administration. I'll table Sustainable Maryland for presentation. And the other one, we also applied for a host site from Chesapeake Bay Trust for a Conservation Corps intern. That position would go to a person between the ages of 18 to 25. Dawn posted it on the website. I think the deadline is tomorrow, actually. So if you know an individual who's interested in working for the town of North Beach, I'm sorry, with the two towns, that they would work with the entire staff with all of the sustainability things that we're doing. So they might work with gardening, might work with in education and outreach towards talking about our green streets, especially the street that John mentioned, the elevated walkway that we're going to have for pedestrians and bikes, and how the street's going to come up. So we're going to do education and outreach the entire year, and that person will be working with us on those efforts.
As a paid internship?
It's a paid internship, about $17,000 for the year. And those are the highlights.
You will probably interact a lot with the environmental committee.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have any questions for Veronica? Okay, thank you so much. Good work, Veronica. Okay, Anthony? Your turn.
Yes.
Welcome.
How you doing?
Good.
My apologies for being late. My daughter came in from college today, so I was designated driver, chauffeur all day. Couple of quick things I can tell you guys. See if the video can come up. It's a small video that's going to show just the taste of what we have coming in June. We have our schedule ready. We have a total of 42 films altogether that we're going to be showing during the weekend of June 23rd through 25th. Southern Maryland Film Festival is officially in with us. We gave them a screening block. We have a free family block. Southern Maryland is going to come in, and they're also going to help us build up our volunteers for the festival. We did pretty good with sponsorships. We Suze came on as sponsor, North Beach Business Loop, and the Arts Council of Calhoun County has come on. And
How about Chesapeake?
Chesapeake, you scared them away, Mark, I don't know what to say.
I just need to know if I need to.
It's, well,
I'll address, yes, I'll address that. I know it's.
There's a camera on here, I don't want to talk about it out loud, but we can, we'll address it later. But, right now, with all the promotional partners we have a reach of 185,000 people through social media to promote businesses to, the town to, and the festival to. It's going really, really good. A lot of folks are really excited about it. We can get emails from college students saying they want to come out and intern or volunteer to help out at the festival. Southern Maryland is really excited. Sharon Hall from Bay Wines and Spirit is on to have wine for free for people at the networking event on Saturday night. Sweet Sue's catering for free that Friday night.
Your persuasion.
I'm very persuasive. You see my wife? Come on. So, let's see.
Can I just ask you, maybe for the people in the audience who don't know, can you maybe step back and just give a brief overview of the film festival and what it is and when it is? And
hello, everybody. June 23rd through 25th, we're going to have the first annual North Beach American Film Festival, where we have 42 films from all over the country, from Alaska to Maryland, D.C., down to Texas. Filmmakers have sent their films in. Most of them are planning to come out. And we're going to have films that show on the waterfront Friday night and Saturday night. We're going to have a networking event where the filmmakers and the people who came to get festival passes can come meet and greet and schmooze. On Saturday during the day, we're going to be showing films here. We have a family block, we have documentaries, we have short films. And then after those blocks are over, you can go to Northeast Community Center to actually have conversations with the filmmakers where they'll have seminars and talk about the films they made and do a Q&A session there. Then that night we'll have another block of short films right there on the waterfront, and on Sunday we'll come back here for the award ceremony. Right now I know we at least have at least have about 20 to 25 of the filmmakers from the 42 films that's going to be here. A lot of the folks that put the films in have never been to North Beach or the Twin Beach area before, so it's really good for the businesses, and it's making it a festival, a destination festival for the town. So that's what it is.
Thank you, that's perfect. And I'm just curious, how many people do you expect descending on North Beach?
Okay, it's the first year. The first year, my thoughts for the first year would be somewhere between 75 and 100. I don't think it's going to be too crazy the first year, but it's looking like the first year is going to go exceedingly well. It's going to jump past the expectations. We're getting a lot of good stuff, and the word is spreading out a lot more. And with the promotional partners we have, Women in Film and Video, DC Shorts Film Festival, Combat Camera, the guys who go out and do the videography for combat in the Army and Marines and stuff like that. So it's spreading further and further out, which means that come back next year, there's going to be more people planning ahead of time. The only problem that we really have is, when you come in, where do you stay? That was the only issue that we really had. If we had a designated place for people to stay, then, then you would have that. Oh my God, there's too many people out here.
Was the road quite full during that time?
But yeah. But see, that was the point of talking to Chesapeake Beach and the economic development folks. They got to kind of catch up a little bit, and that's the thing that I sat down and talked to Larry Jaworski about. So we're working on it, because I would love to be able to do a film and music festival like they do with South by Southwest, with Twin Beaches together, but that's after we get through this. So what I did was I grabbed just some snippets of the stuff that we're bringing, just a very small taste of what we have. So if that can play, then we'll be good. I don't know if you have sound. Yes, there will be. Oh, I'm sorry. There will be a schedule out on the 20th, and tickets will go on sale on the 20th on the website, ndaff.org, for North Beach American Film Festival.org. So the schedule and everything will start out on the 20th of next week.
How much do you expect the tickets?
Tickets for the whole weekend are $45. For the individual screenings is $10 here and $15 on the beach. The family one on Saturday morning is free. Yes.
And how much of this money going to stay in town?
15% comes to town, 10% goes to Twin Beach players, and the rest is for my hard work.
You've already.
I appreciate it.
We do have some vacation rentals in North Beach. I don't know how much we have on the website about the film
Well,
festival.
if I can get a list of them, I can put them on our North Beach website so that people can automatically go right to a link to that. I can do a website like that.
Right, so I think we should raise the awareness of people that there are some places to stay.
Okay.
So we have North Beach American Film Festival on our website, and we also have a link to our rentals here.
Okay.
So maybe I can
I'll
review
get
the
that
link
link,
to the
and I can do
rentals.
Facebook posts and updates
Yeah.
on that, and do a promotion for that, and then make sure that.
That would be great.
And then we also have press releases going out. Everybody that comes on, they give us a blurb for press releases to let people know that they're working with us for the festival, so we're trying to keep it, the momentum going.
Anthony, I know that the Leonardtown has a film festival as part of the Southern Maryland.
That's Southern Maryland.
Are there any others in Southern Maryland, in the Tri-County area?
You got the Annapolis, that was never really, no. Yeah, I mean, it's smaller things, but it's nothing like
Okay, ready?
Give me a second, I have to get the computer sound.
But Southern Maryland Film Festival needs to take a break because they have to be organized. That's why we opened up to let them come in and work with us, and they brought a nice group of films in.
All right. Is it playing?
Now, Mickey?
Yeah.
Oh, a minute, looks like your mom's here.
who is running for U.S. Senate in Virginia.
Frontrunners Tim Kaine and George Allen now have to contend with a potentially formidable, albeit furry-faced, opponent from Springfield.
All right, so there was a little bit of lag, but I'm gonna, I don't know if that's doesn't MD product. That's a very small piece of the Murray stuff we have. And as you can see, there's a lot of good production value in the animation, the effects. We got people who make Star Wars films and Spider-Man fan films that put the movies in, and we have dramas, great documentaries, so we run the whole gamut. I'm gonna try to get the cat out here. I'm trying to get Andy Cat to come out here. I'm really cool with the people who made them, because I'm gonna see about it, so you can meet the cat. But that's it. North Beach American Film Festival is pretty much solid.
Thank you so much. This is so exciting.
Thank you, Anthony. I'll get you that Chesapeake Beach one.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You folks have a great night under the bird.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right, just, thank you, Anthony. Time for public comment. Yeah, sorry. This is time for public comment.
About anything?
Anything, Abigail.
Hello.
And your name is?
I can come just like to 3 meetings throughout the year. And I'm coming today for 2 reasons. One, like a few months ago, I came and I talked to you all about the entrance in our town. And the very nice police officer that is not here today, that was here 6-7 months ago, said that he's going to try to find the answer for me. That's what I mentioned to you, Paul, the other day. On 5th Street, all the way to Boylston Road, right there, it is so dark for anybody that comes, especially from Annapolis. I mean, it is dark. That it is one of our entrances. I know it is not North Beach, belongs to the county. I already tried to have a meeting with Mark Fisher, soon he's finished Annapolis, and I talked to Paul. It is something we need to do about. That's my opinion. It is one of our entrance, regardless if it's not in our line. And I appreciate if you could help me on that, because it's very dark there. But I'm asking for a light bulb in a pole. Not a traffic light, just a light in a pole. So that's one of the reasons I'm here today, again. Because when I come from Annapolis, that direction is very dangerous. And I'm getting old. John, maybe you, John, could find out something for us.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Abigail.
And the second thing, I would like to know a little bit about the fire. If you could give me information, because I went 2 times to the firehouse, and today was one, probably before I came here, and they said they still cannot give me any information. I have to call the Maryland Fire Marshal. And there's a lot of things in the air. My building is very affected with the smoke, if you can see the picture. I was under the smoke, and I'd like to know what y'all can inform me about that, and what we're going to do.
Thank you, Abigail. Rick is probably the one who's most up to date on what is happening, so you'll speak to Abigail following the meeting.
Sure.
Well, I think in general terms,
In this point, we're waiting for the county inspector to make a basic determination as to how they're gonna rebuild, or what they will allow them to rebuild, whether they're gonna have to bring it up to current code, not up to current code. But that's beyond our
purview.
That's gonna be up to the chief county inspector, and they're on it. They have not made a determination yet.
So we might say that Mr. Russo is looking into the possibility of rebuilding
Correct.
those units that were involved.
Correct.
But he doesn't know whether he's going to have to build, if he does so, whether it will have to be built to the county code
Correct.
Why wouldn't it?
I will fight for to be a.
We have, the town has requested to, what's the gentleman's last name? I always get it backwards.
Joe Foxhurst.
Yeah, I was, and he was the chief inspector, and so once they make a determination, they'll let us know.
We'll put it on the website.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you,
that- it's
Mark.
that important. People do want to know.
How many people were affected? I mean, is it all of them are out or half of them are out?
No, four units were out, the electricity's back on, 4 units have been disconnected completely. We had the Red Cross come in, the Red Cross is taking care of the 4 families that were put out. And that's pretty much where it's at this point.
4 out of how many?
There's 19 units. So there's actually 6 on the top that were affected, but a couple of them are doubles. They're not actual single rooms, they're double rooms, so there was 4 families put out. They were all assisted. We had, between myself and emergency management and the fire chief, we had Red Cross show up and they gave them credit cards and money and accommodations.
Yeah, I saw you all doing that, it was nice.
Correct. And one unit on the bottom was affected with water.
Thank you, Rick. Keep us up to date. Other public comment?
I've got one.
Jay?
I want to thank you all for all the work you've done. I know I come here and I ask a lot of questions, but I appreciate you all staying on top of it. Don has kept me informed pretty much as I needed to be informed of that. I certainly appreciate that. I know they're making progress. It looks like they still got to do the matting and the stonework on the rest of what they have to do.
Right.
So 3 weeks is, that's going to be a
Well,
turnaround.
it's been an ordeal. We're as happy, I won't say we're as happy as you are that it's started, but we're all happy. Finally, that part is behind us.
But I do appreciate it. I know you're going to put a lot of time and effort into it. And I'm not always a complainer.
Putting a lot of money into it, too.
Yeah, I realize that.
Ms. Merle?
I'm very excited about what's going on in town. I mean, there's so much going on, it's hard to keep up with all of it, and it's really exciting. And I'm just hoping that I don't have to leave the town, that my lease has not been renewed, they're going to remodel the house, and have no finding place in town. So if anybody knows of anything, I'd like to stay in North Beach, because I really feel my heart's in North Beach. I feel like this is my family.
Well, we feel that you're part of the family, Merle. Please keep that in mind. Okay, business items. We have an award to make for a contract for ground care and flower bed maintenance. Joe, Donnie, you want to?
Yeah. This is for the maintenance throughout town, of all the public areas. We had 3 bid at once, as you all remember, and they came in pretty high.
Over 60,000.
Over 60,000 more. We only had 1 bidder, which was 2. So we thought it was best to go out to bid. What we did, we cut out, the drain did a lot of work on this, but we cut out some of the work load to try to get the price down more reasonable.
Shipped it at the Public Works.
Right. We took out the grass cutters, so Public Works doing that, and we did some things like that or whatever. And we cut back on a weed once a week, twice a week. And then we had a pretty good meeting with the contractor, every bid meeting. And, there are some extras there where you can try to charge for where we have to approve everything. So what we did, then we put out the bid, we had 2 bids come in, and surprisingly, one of the bids was higher than what he was last time, but he was late getting the bid in. But anyway, we had Honeycomb Lawn Care bid, and they were $52,235. And we had Garner Exterior come in, and they were the original bids in the first time. And they came in 39, and that's $282.70.
Joe, what did we put in the budget for this?
We had 35,000 for FY 2017. We have not utilized all that funding because this contract starts in April in preparation for when is it now? American Blue. So we have a little residual there, and for FY 18, we've covered it. And like Donnie mentioned, there's some items that are not included in here, and we want to handle them on a case-by-case basis, like prep for the plantings and things at the beginning of the year. Donnie will go over that with the contractor, and make sure we're getting what we need and not extra.
What we did also, like you said, there is public works, anything we can do, yeah, we won't get a contractor to do it. So that gives us the option, we can spend more time as well, with the rest of that kind of stuff. But we did,
That sounds like good contract management.
We had, we tried to pretty aggressively at the same time, bidders to bid on. I think the problem now is just a lot going on, and a lot of people do contract out for maintenance now, so. And to find somebody to do this much work, a lot of, you have a lot of small guys from yards and small landscaping. They want 1 or 2 day job, but this is pretty big, area that we do, and we get a contract to do, and we do it hard to get somebody to commit, so.
About 4 or 5 months.
Right. 4 or 5 months.
Okay, you have a recommendation?
I would recommend that we award the contract to Gardner Exteriors. They're a local company. They do work around for larger type towns, cities, and they, so they do seem to do good work. I think they want to make an impression on the town, so I think this first year will be a good year, test, and they really probably do an excellent job.
All right, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we award the flower bed maintenance contract to Garner Exterior in the amount of $38,282.70.
The ground care and the flower beds.
Yeah.
Second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Don? Who's going to notify more?
Yeah, we'll notify more because of, next town's coming so soon, so it's the best prepping, right?
Thank you. Okay. Are you working tomorrow?
And you are.
That's right. We still have that one.
Yeah, we got the rest on.
All right, so I have here Earth Day proclamation. Who do we look to for that? Oh, Jane, do you have something?
No, environmental committee can take that off.
Are you prepared?
No, I think we still have a proclamation tonight.
Oh, you got a proclamation?
It's in front of.
The mayor.
Yes, right, yeah.
Sorry.
I beg your pardon? Oh. Okay. Well, geez, I've even signed this. All right, if you all will bear with me, please. The proclamation from the town of North Beach. Whereas humankind is currently facing tremendous global challenges affecting every community, including large-scale migration, extreme inequality and poverty, degradation of ecosystems, mass extinction of species, and global climate change. And whereas it is necessary for the citizens of our global community to develop green jobs and to build an innovative and equitable green economy to combat the aforementioned global challenges. And whereas expanding environmental education and climate literacy is vital to enhance awareness about the environment, inform decision-making, and protect future generations. And whereas it is understood that sustainability will only be achieved by meeting the needs of the present without compromising the needs of future generations. Whereas it is more important than ever to act locally and to cooperate internationally and defend the environmental progress that has been heretofore gained. And whereas Earth Day is an annual reminder of the constant need for environmental activism, stewardship commitments, and sustainability efforts. Now therefore, I, Mark Fraser, Mayor of the town of North Beach, have the distinct honor of proclaiming April 22nd, 2017 as Earth Day throughout the town of North Beach, and encourage all of its citizens, businesses, and institutions to use Earth Day to celebrate the earth and promote environmental and climate literacy. Over my signature. So, April, that's next Saturday a week, will be Earth Day. The day we normally coincide with our planting of the town which has been pushed back. Do y'all know why we changed the date?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So we'll actually do planning the town on April 29th. But when you wake up on the 22nd, remember that that's Earth Day for Plains North Beach. Okay. Thank you. Okay, Sustainable Maryland application presentation. Veronica?
This is a nice segue from here.
Yes.
Right?
Nice segue into
You have
your...
to remember that to upload to the application, then we can get 2 more points.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you these.
This is like a team effort. But this explains to you what Sustainable Maryland is. And on the back of this spreadsheet, it tells you what we had to go through and all the points that we amassed.
So I'll just do a brief overview. But first, I want to thank the entire staff and the environmental committee. I know I saw a couple people here. If you can stand. And the staff, because Joanne, I got Joanne and everybody here in putting this whole application together. So I want to thank everybody. Who just hit the submit button, that's all.
Jeff did an awful lot of work on this, for us to do this.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. This is important to the town. Thank you.
It's just awesome. So just as way of background, and it's outlined on the materials that you've been given, according to the website, Sustainable Maryland is a certification program for municipalities in Maryland that want to go green, save money, and take steps to sustain their quality of life over the long term. So currently, there's 157 municipalities in the state of Maryland, and 35 of them have this designation. There's 31 municipalities, so us included, are currently working towards their certification. So the certification, you have to go through an application process, which what we did since November. We've been working on it. And you have to upload different ingredients towards this application. Totals up to over 1,000 points. So one of the things that we had to do as far as priorities is, one, we redid our mission statement from the environmental committee, which reads, as you see in your paperwork and up here on the slide. The mission statement reads, to ensure the ongoing preservation of the town's wetlands, national shoreline, and green spaces so that residents and visitors may enjoy them now and in the future. We promote a healthy, attractive, sustainable North Beach through green incentives and public education. The second key ingredient is an action plan, which you see before you, which outlines a series of things within our vision and categories. The first category, which is actually, I think, the most important and key priority of the categories, is partnerships. And that's partnerships like the Garden Club and all of the different committees that make up of the town that work on sustainable efforts. It's our funders, it's our residents, our nonprofits, even the festival and events and things that Dawn is posting on the website. So it's a little bit of everything in our partnerships that come together, which is a key ingredient. The other categories are energy and carbon footprint, food, bike and pedestrian, habitat, water, reduce, reuse, and recycle, planning, and land use. And so all of these categories are elements towards our points in the application that we submitted. And once we are awarded the designation, we will be implementing those things over the 3-year period of the designation, which we are given 3 years to recertify in 3 years. So we will work on those strategies together and reinforce North Beach's sustainability continued efforts. And so you will see more things like what you said what you saw on the website a couple weeks ago, which was the results of the green survey. Dawn put this on the website, and we asked everyone what was important to you. So we received 111 responses, so we thank you for that. And 71 of those responses came from town residents. There were other people that also responded. And the number one thing, 56%, said drinking water was important to them. And number two, 37% was reduce, reuse, and recycle. And then the top priority was, third was 30% improved stormwater management. 17% went to renewable energy, 16% went to improved watershed stewardship, and 11% went to waste reduction, and 9% went to green practices in new construction. So this really just shows what's important to the people here in the town and how we can work on maybe some programs and things to move towards some of those issues and educating the people of what we're doing here for sustainability efforts. So currently the application has been submitted. Yay! And we're excited about that, and it's now done and going to be reviewed in the coming weeks, and they're going to get back to us with additional things that maybe we can put in since we put in first for this year before anyone has submitted. So they will be giving us the results before June, and between June and July, they will be reviewing, and then the awards come in the fall at MML.
At the fall conference.
Yes, at the fall conference at MML. That's
Well,
it.
thank you, Veronica. You've been doing an excellent job in taking the lead on gaining this certification. I know every Tuesday, I ask Veronica, we're going to get that Sustainable Maryland designation. Yes, Mayor. Anyway, it's not going to be at the summer conference. At the fall conference, which I believe is in Rockville, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So keep up the good work. We got our fingers crossed.
Yes,
I just like to
absolutely.
point out to the council,
Sure.
if you turn this sheet over, it lists in the back the requirements that have to be made. The hardest part we found was we could do a lot of these things very early, but we had to write it out. There had to be a submission of 30
Paperwork.
and a lot of paperwork and substantiation. We had to get Dawn to go back and check some flyers that she had done. So it's not just this, it's
You have to really want it.
It probably makes you realize how much we have done. Like, I'm looking at this going, there's
Yeah.
a lot of things that.
Well, the first time we went through, we said, oh, we have 150 already. Well, we turned out, and Veronica put in, we turned it over 900.
Can I just add, I just want to say how lucky as a town we are to have you here, Veronica. I mean, I've had the pleasure of meeting with you several times, and just personally, it's been wonderful to have sort of an outside insider. You bring various perspectives from all of the different places that you've worked, other towns, the government level, et cetera, and I think help us really kind of think maybe in different ways and creatively, and it's wonderful to have you as part of our team.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay. Thanks, Veronica. We're moving on now to ordinances and resolutions. These have to do with bond proceeds and refinancing that the town is considering to fund new capital projects as well as to refinance if the interest rates are desirable enough, some existing loans that we have. Last week, the ordinance 17-04, which has the new money bond ordinance, was introduced, as well as 1705, which is the refinancing. Because we are considering a vote on both of these amendments less than 10 days from their introduction, they do have to be considered as emergency ordinances. And in order for that to happen, we have to have 5 votes from the council. So I'm going to ask at this time, do I have a motion to consider emergency ordinance 17-04 as an emergency ordinance? Do we have a motion?
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, unanimous.
And have another motion to adopt the
Okay, now, still dealing with 17-04, I need a motion now to adopt this as an emergency ordinance.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now for emergency ordinance 17-05, do I have a motion to consider it as an emergency?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now do I have a motion to approve ordinance 17-05?
So moved.
Second? Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you, council members.
You guys are getting into something we have to sign, being passed down. All the council members have to sign it.
All right, Randy, let's start with your,
There's 2 different things.
let's start with your council report.
Right, I actually have something to report to, nobody can steal this stuff. Everybody steal one of James. I had the pleasure, I guess, of greeting a group of 3rd graders from Summerlin Elementary School on Tuesday. Who came down, I don't know, they were $3 bus lines. You know, you can pack those little kids in those big buses. I don't know how many there were. They were there under the auspices of the Northern High School environmental club. And I'm glad I retired. Anyway, they went down to Overlook Park and were exploring the woods and the marsh, not too far into the marsh and various things, collecting bugs and leaves and whatnot. So that was kind of fun to stand down there for a little while, and then I went home. And then later in the day, I guess I volunteered, at least that was the story once I got there, to Annapolis to lead along with, 15 other people? Something like
We were the second shift.
Yeah, we were the second shift, about 3,000 essays, and if I were mayor for that. And Jane and Stacy and I went up and did that. And you know, when I said I was told I volunteered, Stacy just told me I was going to do it, so I, so anyway. So I took care of that. And it was a good week.
I'm glad to hear it was a good week for you, man.
Every week for me is a good week.
You do what you want to do, right?
We're all right.
Yes.
Yeah, Jane?
I just want to thank everybody for coming out, and especially the Green Team for all their efforts on sustainable Maryland, and that includes you too, Veronica. You've really worked hard, and we really appreciate all the efforts that have been put into this.
Just John, I'd like to thank you for your decades of service here to the town of North Beach. This is a wonderful town, and certainly that starts with having a great infrastructure, and you help provide that behind you, so thank you.
I don't usually get to say anything with the Marion County School reports, but I really want to thank John as well for all the years of service that he's given to the town of North Beach. And I've had an opportunity to work very closely with him. Not just here in the town, we've been all over the place. John's been my witness in court, administrative hearings, everywhere. And I always felt comfortable knowing John was going to raise his right hand to tell the truth. And that's not always true when you're putting people on the stand. I always felt comfortable when John was raising his right hand. And I really appreciate all the work that we did together, John, and good luck in the future.
The pleasure's mine too, working with
A couple things. There is as you know, I do social media, I do it for my business, but there is a new app out there that there's a lot of North Beach residents starting to use called Nextdoor. And there's a lot of information being passed out there. And as you know, we still have a Neighborhood Watch program. And I do want to ask Linda Russo, who's in the back there. I know that she committed to a time frame, and that time frame has since gone by. And I believe she's looking for a replacement, somebody to step in, but she can answer more of that. The Neighborhood Watch program, because she's built a very large email list, and she does an amazing email out every month that I absolutely loved, and I was impressed each and every month because I knew it took a lot of her time. But I think she's at a point now where, obviously newly married, congratulations, and I got it right, so Russo, not Kearns. Where do we stand with that, Linda?
Basically, when we set up the new plan, we said we wanted the chair to have a limited amount of time so that somebody new could come in with fresh ideas, fresh, innovative ideas, so things would continue to move and grow and it wouldn't become a stagnant program. I put it out there twice and apparently nobody wants it. So, what I found, and I've talked with people, the newsletter for the 2 years that we've put it out has been very informative. It's given a lot of hints and tips and it's been very good, but I'm finding people don't want information unless they want information. So in other words, putting out the newsletter is fine, but it's not being read. It's not being received. However, it's just like when we were hosting separate meetings, you would see people when they have a problem. Well, I have a problem, what do I do? So going forward, our next chapter of North Beach Neighborhood Watch, I'm working with Dawn to redevelop our side of the webpage with what we have there, and to take a lot of information as we continue to have information, make it available on the webpage. So if somebody wants information or needs information, hey, I think somebody's dealing drugs, how do I tell? There'll be a link there so that they can quickly look up that information, or just the different things that we've offered over the last couple of years. We're going to encourage the people who are signed up at the North Beach Neighborhood Watch to sign up for the town's email. The database is much larger. Dawn tends to reissue what I put out so that some of the people who are on the town site are getting it twice. We also want the people who are on our site to get the rest of the information that the town is putting out if they're not getting it already. And then I'd like to utilize the email blast that Dawn does in cooperation with the deputies to say, hey, all of a sudden we've got a rash of break-ins in sheds. Let's throw a blast out there to everybody to let them know, hey, be on the lookout, make sure your shed is locked. That type of information, so that we can continue to keep our citizens aware and also to utilize what we have available to us. And of course, our motto will continue to be, if you see something, say something, because that's what's brought us as far as it has to this day.
Thank you so much. It sounds like Neighborhood Watch 2.0, so we're taking it to the next level. If you haven't gone to the website, North Beach, Maryland, or md.org, check it out. It is definitely, again, we'll be bragging up to MML how great it is. So thank you so much. Thank you, Linda, for all your hard work.
Linda has sent me a lot of information and resources, a lot of the emails she sent out over the last few years. That will go on the Neighborhood Watch page, and we'll have like a helpful resources tab. So like she said, if people want to find information, it will be there and they can search and find it. So pretty much everything she's done for a couple of years, she's kind of summarized, and we'll have it on the webpage.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight as well. And John, I want to say to you that thank you so much for your years of service. I know there's, especially on this burn project, I feel like we've been troopers and getting through this, and partners in crime to move this thing forward. And I really appreciate it. It's amazing the amount of resilience, and patience. I mean, it's not an easy job, just kind of plowing through these bureaucratic barriers that you've done with such patience and perseverance. And I appreciate you just always keeping the ball moving forward. And always, I'm not going to take you off my speed dial just yet. That way.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. It's always good to see more people than last month where we had like, I think just Merrill last month. And John, I want to thank you for all your service to the town. You definitely left your mark here. I remember in high school, I was in the drafting program at the Career Center, and you were one of the engineers that came down and gave us little interviews in the field. So, and that was back in 2001, I think. So, and I remember you were also working at Chesapeake Beach as well for a bit. So you have left your mark not just here, but also over there as well. So both towns have been very lucky to have you. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, I want you all to save some of your accolades for John, because we're going to have a reception following our June meeting. That's concluded the meeting, at which time we'll have an opportunity to truly recognize John for his 2 decades of service to the town of North Beach. So we'll make sure we have some refreshments. John, yeah, I hope you'll tell Pat.
Pat will be here.
Yes, right here, yes, just following the meeting. June, what is that date?
When you really see my
June 8th.
June 8th? Oh, that,
First, this work session, June
okay,
8th.
June 8th, then following the meeting. Everyone is invited, of course. The only announcement I would make is that Mayor Mahoney and I attended the county commissioners meeting this past Tuesday. As we, well, I wouldn't say as the 2 mayors, it's his first visit, appear before the county commissioners when they consider what to put into their budget in the way of a tax differential for the 2 towns. This is to offset the property tax to the residents of North Beach because of the municipal tax that they pay. And once again, it will be maintained at 33 cents per dollar. And that's what they're going to put into their budget, and presumably will be adopted. I want to thank all of you for coming out tonight. I hope the Caps do well. They're in their first playoff game right now. Okay, so if I have a motion to adjourn, we go home and watch the 3rd quarter. All in favor? The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.